Discover the heartwarming moment a single dad's call sign transformed F-22 pilots in just seconds. In the small town of Maplewood, heartfelt stories often bloom like wildflowers in a field. But nothing could prepare anyone for the day when a humble mechanic and his spirited son would win over the hearts of elite F-22 pilots. That moment sparked with a breathtaking intensity, igniting hope that soared higher than the jets overhead. Jerry, a dedicated single dad, worked tirelessly to raise his 10-year-old son, Tommy. With grease-stained hands and a heart full of love, he devoted himself to teaching Tommy the meaning of hard work. The world outside called for glamour, but all Jerry could offer was grit and determination. Until the day it all changed, the annual Maplewood Air Show was around the corner, and the buzz swept through town like an electric current. Tommy's eyes danced with excitement each time an F-22 roared past. His father, however, wore a mask of weary resolve. "Maybe one day, son," Jerry would say, forcing a smile, only to brush the dream aside. "But we're just not cut out for flying." Day turned to night, but Tommy's yearning only grew. The morning of the air show brought something unexpected. A knock at the door led them to an invitation from the pilots themselves, a chance for a behind-the-scenes tour. The sun gleamed with hope as they arrived at the base, where shiny jets gleamed under the bright blue sky. Tommy's eyes were wide with awe as he stepped into a world of swirling excitement and adventure that felt galaxies away from their daily grind. Jerry stood quietly, trying to mask his feelings of inadequacy as he watched Tommy interact with these polished pilots who appeared like living legends. But as they gathered around the gleaming planes, something magical began to stir. The pilots exchanged tales of their call signs, and laughter erupted like fireworks, filling the air with camaraderie. "What do you call yourself, buddy?" one pilot asked, directing attention towards Tommy. With a flicker of inspiration that caught everyone off guard, Tommy blurted out, "How about blue collar for my dad?" Silence enveloped them as the weight of those words hung in the air. Jerry felt his heart race, the laughter momentarily forgotten. Here was his son, proud and earnest, elevating Jerry's identity beyond a mechanic, shining a light on the values of hard work and resilience embedded deep in the fabric of their lives. The pilots exchanged glances, pondering the innocence and truth behind that title. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. The moment shifted, leaving Jerry stunned. Here was this gleaming world of pilots, once distant, now searching for meaning in the expression of a simple mechanic's son. Encouraged by the pilots, Jerry found himself reluctantly stepping into the spotlight of the upcoming air show, a celebration of sweat and dignity for folks who keep the wheels of life turning. As excitement began to bloom, so did a nagging voice of doubt in Jerry's head. Could a simple mechanic, struggling to make ends meet, truly embody the spirit of an unsung hero? The weight of that question pressed down on him like a heavy sky. He stood at a crossroads, knowing the adventure awaited if only he could shake the fears that held him back. As the air show loomed closer, the gentle wind whispered promises while the world above awaited a moment that could change everything. Would this be the day Jerry finally soared alongside his son into the sky of dreams? Or would fear keep their feet firmly planted on solid ground? The days faded into each other, each one drawing closer to the air show. Jerry tried to focus on work at the garage, but his mind wandered to the moments spent on the tarmac. Could he really stand in front of the crowd? Could he embrace the title of blue collar in the way Tommy saw it? Tommy buzzed with excitement, practicing flight maneuvers with a broomstick. "Watch me, Dad. I'm gonna go supersonic." He zoomed past, arms outstretched, and Jerry couldn't help but chuckle. In his son's eyes, every day held the promise of adventure. "Don't forget to keep your feet on the ground, buddy." Jerry joked, but inside, a turmoil brewed. The laughter of the pilots echoed in his mind. Their respect for Tommy's suggestion nestled in Jerry's chest like a warm ember. What if he could be more than just the man who fixed their planes? What if he could inspire like they did? The night before the show, a restless energy filled their small home. Tommy lay in bed, counting down the minutes. Tomorrow's the big day, Dad. I can feel it. His voice, alive with anticipation, faded into the quiet hum of the night. I know, son. Just remember to enjoy it. But even as he reassured Tommy, doubt clawed at Jerry's insides. What if he faltered? What if he let Tommy down? The morning sun broke through the ominous clouds of his worries, casting a golden glow over Maplewood. The town buzzed with excitement, cars streamed towards the air base, families gathering to witness the spectacle unfolding above. As they approached the entrance, the adrenaline rushed through Jerry. He glanced down at Tommy, who paced eagerly, his face alight with joy. The sight of his son was like a lighthouse, guiding him through the fog of doubt. You ready for this? He asked, ruffling Tommy's hair. With a determined nod, Tommy beamed up at him. I was born ready, Dad. They stepped into the crowd, where laughter mingled with the hum of engines. The scent of popcorn and hot dogs wafted around them, but all Jerry could feel was the weight of the moment. As the announcer's voice boomed through the loudspeakers, calling for the pilots, Jerry's heart raced. Sweat beaded on his forehead. As the first jets soared overhead, cheers erupted like waves crashing against the shore. Gazing up, Tommy shouted, "Look at them go." But Jerry stood rooted to the spot. He wanted to feel that rush, too. He wanted more than anything to make Tommy proud, to become part of this world if only just for a fleeting moment. Hey, blue collar. A familiar voice broke through his reverie. It was one of the pilots from the tour, grinning widely. You ready for your flight? Before he could think, Jerry nodded, his heart thundering in his chest. I think so. Tommy's eyes widened with pride. You can do it, Dad. Jerry took a deep breath as the pilot led him toward the waiting aircraft. The roar of the engines filled the air, enveloping him in their powerful embrace. This was it. He was stepping into a dream, the heavy doubts lifting like smoke. Would this moment change everything for him and Tommy? As he climbed into the plane, he couldn't help but wonder, what would it feel like to soar above the clouds, a single dad transformed by his son's words. The cockpit closed around him, and as the engines roared to life, he realized this wasn't just a flight. It was a leap into the unknown, a leap toward becoming the hero Tommy believed him to be. But the real question loomed in his mind, would the sky embrace him as he took to flight, or would the weight of his fears pull him back down? The plane vibrated beneath him, a muscle-bound beast ready to leap into the vast blue. Jerry strapped himself in, his hands trembling slightly as he adjusted the headset over his ears. The pilot shot him a reassuring smile, but all Jerry could feel was the thump of his own heartbeat, echoing the roar of the engines. Here we go. The pilot shouted, and with that, they began to taxi down the runway. As they picked up speed, the ground fell away. Jerry's stomach lurched. A wave of exhilaration washed over him, battling with the pulsing fear in his veins. Look out! Tommy's voice rang in his mind, buoyant and bright, floating above the noise and chaos. He could almost picture his son's face, lit up with joy, eyes sparkling as he watched this part of his dad he had always wanted to see. The plane climbed higher, piercing through the clouds. For a second, Jerry felt weightless, as if the burdens of work and doubt had slipped away, leaving only him, the pilot, and infinite sky. The pilot began to maneuver, and Jerry was jolted back into focus. You okay? He asked. Yeah. Jerry half shouted, his voice a bit unsteady. Then he couldn't help himself. This is amazing. Just wait until we hit the loop. It's a ride you won't forget. They soared higher, performing thrilling loops and barrel rolls, the surroundings becoming a blur of blue and white. With each twist and turn, Jerry's spirits soared alongside the aircraft. For the first time in a long time, he felt like he was living. The pilot's voice broke through the noise again. You want to try taking the controls? Me? Are you serious? Absolutely. Take a deep breath and hold on. With a racing heart, Jerry gripped the controls, and they shared laughter as they adjusted the aircraft's path together. The thrill coursed through him, mingling with adrenaline, half fear, half ecstasy. Think you can pull a barrel roll? The pilot teased, mischief dancing in his eyes. Let us do it. Jerry responded, the courage rising within him, spurred on by Tommy's unwavering faith in him. He felt the plane respond under his grip, the world rotating upside down, and for a moment, he was flying not just as a mechanic, but as a pilot, as a father, fully embracing this unexpected adventure. As they leveled out, the horizon spread before them endless, strong, and inviting. That's when it hit him, it wasn't just about flying or the title of blue collar. It was about showing Tommy that fear could be faced and conquered. When they landed, Jerry felt different. The crowd erupted into applause as they stepped out of the plane. Tommy rushed towards him, eyes wide with admiration. You did it, Dad. You really did it. Jerry knelt down, catching his breath, and pulled Tommy into a tight hug. He could feel the boy's heart racing against his chest, a shared victory enveloping them. That was for you, buddy. You inspired me, Jerry murmured, the truth flooding his heart. Tommy pulled back slightly, eyes sparkling. You're not just my dad. You're a hero, Dad. At that moment, Jerry realized the real transformation wasn't just his flight but the bond that now soared higher than it ever had. But as they made their way back through the crowd, doubts crept back in. This feeling, this connection, could he maintain it back on the ground? What would life look like after this exhilarating day? Dad? Tommy's voice brought him back. What's next? Jerry looked up at the sky, a mixture of fear and excitement swirling within him. The heart of Maplewood was alive around them, but within him stirred a new journey, one he never saw coming. What awaited them on the other side of the clouds? The lights of the festival twinkled like stars as Jerry and Tommy walked towards the food stalls. The buzz of laughter and music enveloped them, a stark contrast to the soaring leap they had just taken. Yet, beneath the joy, Jerry felt the pull of uncertainty again. Could he really turn that moment of thrill into something lasting? Can we try the funnel cakes? Tommy asked, pointing eagerly at a vendor. His eyes glimmered with the same excitement he had shown at the airshow, and Jerry couldn't help but smile back. Of course. They're a must at festivals, he said, bending down to ruffle Tommy's hair. As they waited in line, Jerry watched his son's enthusiasm. It was infectious. But with each passing moment, he felt a tug in his chest, the fear of going back to the daily grind. What if the way Tommy saw him changed after today? What if he let him down? Dad? Tommy's voice cut through his thoughts as they claimed their order. Do you think we can really fly together one day? The question hung in the air, heavy with a meaning only Jerry understood. Yeah, buddy. I think we can. Just gotta keep working at it, he replied, uncertainty slipping into his words. Like you did today. Tommy beamed, lifting the warm funnel cake to his mouth. Jerry's heart swelled with pride. He had shown Tommy that courage mattered, yet his own fear still loomed. They found a spot on the grass. It was perfect for watching the fireworks later. Tommy chattered about each stall they passed, sharing dreams of monster trucks and skate parks. Jerry listened, heart pounding with a mix of pride and fear. His child was growing up, and he wanted to be the dad who kept up with him. Can you see us flying, Dad? Tommy asked, his face painted with wonder. Like superheroes? More like pilots, Jerry murmured, warmth rising within him. We have our own call signs. Tommy's eyes widened. What would yours be? Jerry thought hard. How about blue collar Dad? Awesome. Mine should be Little Ace. Tommy declared, pumping his fist in the air. Laughter bubbled inside Jerry, and for the first time, doubt began to melt away. As the sun dipped low, painting the sky in vibrant oranges and pinks, the atmosphere shifted. The crowd's hum grew electric with anticipation. Families gathered closer, and the faint crackle of the fireworks filled the air. In that moment, Jerry caught a glimpse of the beauty before him, a vibrant world, full of joy and life. "Dad, look!" Tommy pointed at the sky as the first firework shot off, blooming into a brilliant cascade of colors. Jerry felt the energy of the crowd swell with each explosion, much like their flight moments before. "Wow!" he breathed, letting the heat of the moment fill him with hope. It was a reminder that despite the struggles, they could still create beautiful memories together. The awe in Tommy's face brought a smile to Jerry's lips. They shared a look that embraced the bond they had forged. It was deeper now, the essence of teamwork and brave hearts igniting a journey of their own. "Can you hear that?" Jerry suddenly asked, eyes trained on the sky as a loud bang rang out. "It sounds like a call to adventure." "What do you mean?" Tommy looked puzzled, but Jerry could see the spark of curiosity ignited. "Every firework holds a story, just like we do. And who knows what tomorrow will bring?" Jerry replied, feeling a flicker of excitement ignite within. For the first time, Jerry realized that this wasn't just about what they could do as father and son in the sky, but what they could build together on the ground. Their challenges, their moments of fear, they were all part of the journey, and as the last firework exploded into the night, Jerry's heart soared. But just as he began to envision their next adventure together, he noticed something out of the corner of his eye, a shadow flitting near the food stands, a figure bearing a striking resemblance to someone from his past. Someone he thought he had left behind. "Tommy, stay close," he suddenly warned, his voice more serious than before. What could this mean for their future, and would this unexpected visit change everything they had just begun to forge? The vibrant explosions of color in the sky seemed to fade against the storm gathering in Jerry's heart. His instincts kicked in, pushing him to scan the crowd, searching for that familiar silhouette. There it was again, a quick movement that sent shivers down his spine. "Dad? Why are you getting all serious?" Tommy's voice wavered, tinged with a mix of confusion and concern. "I just need you to stay close," Jerry replied, pulling Tommy into his side, attempting to shield him from whatever was coming. The air felt different now, electric, tinged with apprehension. "What's wrong?" Tommy asked, sensing his father's worry. It's nothing," Jerry hesitated, the words thick in his throat. It felt like a lie, like he was withholding truth from the one person who should know everything. But how could he explain? The man lurking in the shadows was someone from a complicated chapter in his life, an ex-colleague, a ghost filled with unresolved issues. The carefree spirit flying high above them was now grounded, and Jerry's heart raced as he realized he might not be prepared for this encounter. "Hey," Tommy said softly, tugging at Jerry's shirt. "Let's get more funnel cake. That'll make everything better." Jerry tried to laugh, to shake off the weight of his concerns. "You know, you might be right, but let's just walk over here first." They made their way around a group of laughing children, through the maze of stalls filled with sweet scents of cotton candy and pretzels. But with every step, the shadow drew closer. Jerry's pulse quickened. Then it happened. He turned a corner and there stood the figure he feared, his old friend, Jake, now staring wide-eyed at him. Jerry's stomach twisted. Memories flooded back, the laughter, the camaraderie, the bitter fallout of their last encounter. "Jerry?" Jake's voice cut through the noise, but all Jerry could focus on was the intensity in his old friend's gaze. It was a mix of surprise, and something deeper, guilt, perhaps. "Jake," Jerry replied, the name feeling foreign on his tongue. "What are you doing here?" "I could ask you the same thing." Jake chuckled nervously, his voice betraying tension. "I've been trying to get a hold of you. Thought I'd find you eventually." "Look, Dad." Tommy interrupted, looking between the two men, uncertainty in his eyes. "Who is he?" this is someone I used to know very well," Jerry answered, hoping to keep it light. But inside, the waters were turbulent. "Like a pilot?" Tommy asked, his youthful mind racing ahead. "Sort of," Jerry said, forcing a smile while inwardly battling emotions he thought he had buried. Jake shifted awkwardly. "Yeah, we flew together. Did a lot of things together. Did you do tricky stunts? Like, fly upside down?" Tommy's curiosity was innocent, but it twisted Jerry's heart further. He wished he could answer yes without hesitation. "Kind of," Jake said, eyes flickering to Jerry before back to Tommy. "Those were good times." Suddenly, the ghosts of their past felt heavier than ever. Jerry's heart sank into his stomach. Should he let this man back into his life after everything? Would it be right for Tommy to expose him to old scars? "Hey, listen," Jerry started, his voice tight. "I don't know what you want, Jake," but a loud bang in the sky interrupted him. The fireworks were starting again, a dazzling display that lit up the night. The cheers from the crowd seemed far away as the brightness washed over them. Tommy gasped, his eyes filling with wonder. "Dad, look! It's beautiful!" Jerry couldn't help but feel that spark of joy in his chest, but it was mixed with mounting dread. Could he really shield Tommy from the complexities of life? Just then, a firework exploded, showering the area with shimmering sparks, and for a split second, he could see it all, the joyful memories alongside the heart-wrenching past. Jake cleared his throat, stepping forward slightly. "Maybe we can talk, just you and me." Jerry's heart raced. The future, the potential for dreams, twisted with the sharp edges of old mistakes. "What if I don't want to?" he countered, his voice steady but simmering. As the final firework lit up the night, illuminating their faces, the choices felt weighty. What would this reunion mean for their journey? Could their story still hold hope, or was it a signal of something darker looming ahead? "Dad?" Tommy's soft voice broke through. "Are you okay?" Holding his son's gaze, Jerry felt the warmth of Tommy's innocence, and while the past whispered treacheries in his ears, the future seemed to call to him from somewhere fresh and unknown. "I don't know yet, buddy," Jerry finally replied, wondering if some doors should remain closed, but also questioning what new adventures might await just beyond the shadows. He stole one last look at Jake, and the uncertainty hung between them like a loaded weapon. Tomorrow would be a new day, but what if it revealed more than he was ready to face? What if letting someone back into his life could change everything they had just begun to build? The burst of colors in the sky gave way to an uneasy darkening over Jerry's heart. The sound of fireworks faded, replaced by the echo of old memories surfacing from the depths of his mind. He could feel the tension crackling between him and Jake, thick enough to choke on. Tommy's innocent glee just a few feet away felt like a distant island, surrounded by turbulent seas. "Jerry, come on, let us just talk," Jake pressed, his tone a blend of insistence and desperation. "I know things were complicated, but I need to explain." "Explain what?" Jerry fired back, feeling the protective instinct surge inside him. He shifted slightly, positioning himself as a physical barrier between Jake and Tommy. "You walked out on everything, Jake. You left me to deal with the fallout." Jake's expression morphed, the joy of the festival fading from his eyes. "I know, and I regret it. That's what I'm trying to say. I've spent years trying to reconcile it, and I need to talk to you to make things right." "Right?" Jerry scoffed, the bitterness spilling forth. "The only thing you made right was your getaway while I was left holding the wreckage." A sudden silence fell over them, heavy like a dense fog. Tommy fidgeted, clearly sensing the shift. "Dad," he whispered, his voice barely above the distant crackles of fireworks. "Are we going to get the funnel cake or not?" Jerry's heart twisted at the boy's innocent enthusiasm. He looked down at Tommy, whose big, hopeful eyes bored into him. In that moment, the anger dissolved just a little, like ice on a sunny day. "We will, buddy. Just, can you give us a minute?" Tommy hesitated before nodding, pulling his attention back to the sky, unaware of the storm brewing just behind him. Look, Jake continued, his voice softer now, almost pleading, I didn't want Tommy exposed to any of this. I too late for that. Jerry clenched his fists. You're here, and he's here. What else did you want? A hug? A welcome party? You don't get to waltz back into my life like this. I just thought Jake started, but Jerry cut him off. You thought wrong. I rebuilt everything from the ground up, and it wasn't because of you, it was in spite of you. As the fireworks cascaded overhead, illuminating their faces in bursts of light, Jerry could see the cracks in Jake's mask. The regret was there, but so was something else. Was it sincerity? Jerry wasn't sure if he could trust it, or if he even wanted to. Please, Jake implored, the weight of his years and mistakes evident in his voice. Just hear me out. I never wanted to hurt you. I was scared, and I didn't handle things, well. Scared? The word tasted bitter on Jerry's tongue. Is that all it takes, Jake? Running scared? Did you think it would go away? That things would just heal themselves? Jake took a tentative step forward, only to stop as if anticipating a punch. No, I thought it would be better for you, for everyone. I get it now. It wasn't It was selfish. I want a chance to be part of your life again, to be a part of Tommy's life. Jerry's pulse quickened, the conflict raging inside him. Could he let someone back into their lives who had caused such destruction? But something in Jake's eyes made him pause. Was it determination or desperation? Why should I trust you? Jerry spat, heart pounding against his ribs. There was so much at stake. Because we were friends once, Jerry. And more than that, we were family in our own way. I've missed all of it, Jake said, his voice barely above a whisper. For the first time, Jerry noticed the strain in Jake's features, the burden of regret etched into every line of his face. Fireworks continued to blast above, forming a tapestry of light that seemed distant from the heaviness that wrapped around them. Jerry felt torn. What if this was the beginning of something precious, or the rekindling of old wounds? Just give me one day, Jake urged. One day to show you I'm different now. Let me prove it to you. Jake's words hung in the air, heavy with significance. Jerry's heart raced as he contemplated the choice he had to make. Could he forgive, or was that door better left closed? What if, he started, uncertainty lacing his voice, what if tomorrow brings more than you know how to handle? The question lingered, crystallizing the moment. In those swirling, colorful sparks overhead, Jerry faced an unknown path that promised both hope and heartache. Would he take the risk to open the door, or seal it shut forever? The night air was thick, a mix of excitement and anxiety that wrapped around Jerry like a vice. He glanced once more at Tommy, whose eyes sparkled with fireworks reflecting off the innocent wonder in his heart. The boy was turning back to Jake, a hint of hope lingering in his expression. Jerry felt a sharp pang. Should he shatter that light with the truth, or let it linger for a while longer? Okay, he finally uttered, the word unwillingly slipping from his lips. One day. But don't think for a second that I'll make this easy for you. Jake's face lit up with a mix of surprise and gratitude, as if the weight of the world he'd carried these last few years had lifted, if only a little. Thank you, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. You won't regret it, I promise. Let's just focus on Tommy for now, Jerry warned, feeling the tension still hanging in the air. He deserves a good day. Tommy jumped up and down, his excitement palpable, pulling Jake into a quick hug that spoke volumes. The moment felt small but expansive, sourcing both exhilaration and trepidation. Jerry kept his distance, reminding himself that this was just one day, and just because Jake wanted to reconnect didn't mean everything would magically return to how it was. The three of them made their way through the festival. Tommy dashed ahead, pulling at Jake's arm, exchanging stories about the rides and games while Jerry lagged behind, eyes scanning the crowd. The festival was the same as always, food stands filled with the scent of cotton candy and popcorn, laughter ringing out in waves. But Jerry felt like he was walking through a dream he never wanted to enter. Jake tried to engage with his son. "What ride should we go on first?" he asked, his voice full of the warmth Jerry once admired. Without missing a beat, Tommy shouted, "The Ferris wheel." As he dashed toward the glowing attraction, his laughter a melody that tugged at Jerry's heart. "Let us go!" Jake exclaimed, lifting his pace to keep up with his son. Jerry followed, the unease still gnawing at him. As they approached the wheel, the colorful lights swirled above them. At their feet, the ground thrummed with the beat of distant music. Jerry's heart raced for different reasons now. Could he really allow this man back into their lives? They climbed aboard one of the gondolas, the clinking of metal against metal echoing in the night. Tommy squeezed in between them, his joy infectious and momentarily pushing away the shadows of the past. "Look, Dad! We're so high!" Tommy squealed as they reached the top, the view of the festival sprawling beneath them. It was magical, but Jerry kept stealing glances at Jake, searching for any sign of duplicity. "Isn't this amazing?" Jake said, his eyes lighting up as they took in the sights. "Yeah." Tommy beamed, his enthusiasm wrapping around them. Jerry felt a part of him soften, just a little. "Do you remember when we used to come here?" Jake asked softly, turning to Jerry as they swayed gently in the gondola. Jerry swallowed hard. "Vividly," he replied, the memories flooding back, the laughter, the arguments, the shared moments that felt like they belonged to another lifetime. He felt the weight of the past, heavy but saturated with possibility. "I wish we could go back," Jake sighed, looking out into the night. "If I could turn back time, I would." And for the first time, Jerry saw it clearly. Jake wasn't just looking at their shared past, he was longing to create something new. But the fear of what could happen tomorrow still clouded his hope. As the gondola slowly descended, hearts climbed and sank with the rise and fall of the wheel. Jerry glanced at Tommy, who was completely immersed in the moment, and then at Jake, whose eyes flickered with genuine emotion. "I can't let your mistakes define my future," Jerry finally said, firming his resolve even as his heart wavered. "Then let today be a start," Jake replied, his earnestness striking a chord deep within Jerry. As they stepped off the ride, the night crackled with potential. Jerry felt the pull, the promise of tomorrow hanging in the balance. Could he truly open his heart again? Would this day lead to deeper bonds or fresh scars? "How about we grab that funnel cake now?" Jerry suggested, trying to push away the heaviness of uncertainty. "Yeah." Tommy cheered, bounding off once more. Jerry's heart fluttered. Perhaps, just perhaps, this day could lead to something different, something healing. The faint sound of fireworks crackled overhead, echoing the turmoil within. What awaited them beyond this one day could shape everything, but he couldn't predict how it would unfold. Would the past become their foundation, or just another hurdle to overcome? A whirlwind of emotions flooded him as they moved into the crowd, and with every step, Jerry wondered. If tomorrow came, would they be ready? Or would it all come crashing down once again? Tommy practically bounced on his feet, leading the charge towards the funnel cake stand like a rocket shooting for the stars. Jerry and Jake followed close behind, but Jerry's heart didn't feel buoyed by the excitement that surrounded them. Instead, it was heavy, laden with the precarious hope and doubt he carried with him. "2 funnel cakes, please." Tommy shouted as he pointed at the delicious piles of fried dough, dusted generously with powdered sugar. Jerry pulled out his wallet, his fingers hesitating as he handed over the cash. More than just a treat, every dollar spent came with the weight of a decision, a choice to embrace this moment with Jake or risk losing it. "Let us find somewhere to sit," Jake suggested, scanning the crowded fairgrounds. "I want to hear what Tommy loves most about school." "School is awesome, Dad. We did science experiments today." Tommy buzzed while munching on the hot, sugary confection. His eyes sparkled, and for a moment, Jerry felt transported back to a time when the three of them shared meals and laughter, painting a picture of family he thought was lost forever. Really? What kind of experiment? Jake leaned in, genuinely interested, and Jerry saw that flicker of a father who wanted to be there, truly present for his son. That spark lit up a small corner in Jerry's heart, even as his instincts screamed caution. We mixed vinegar and baking soda. Tommy beamed. It went boom. The boy's enthusiasm spilled over, seeming to wash away some of Jake's past mistakes, if only temporarily. Nice. Did you get to wear goggles? Jake laughed, joining in Tommy's delight. Jerry felt himself relax slightly, willing to let in the warmth of the moment, but it was unsettling. Jake's presence, his easy laughter, ignited feelings he thought were buried. What if he let the weight of their past hold him back? Yeah, we did. Tommy said, still full of joy. I can't wait to tell you what else we did. The excitement drew Jerry's gaze from his son's beaming face to the man next to him. Jake looked more like the father he longed to be, each laugh another chisel to the wall Jerry was building around his heart. Just then, as they wandered closer to the edge of the fairgrounds, a loud crash shook them from their moment. A group of teenagers nearby had accidentally knocked over a stack of metal chairs that clattered to the ground. The noise startled Tommy, who instinctively clutched Jerry's leg. Hey, buddy, it's okay. Jerry reassured him, kneeling down to meet his son's wide eyes. Nothing happened, just an accident. In moments like these, his protective instincts surged. He wanted to shield Tommy from the chaos, the unpredictability that life could bring. It was really loud. Tommy whispered, his earlier excitement dimming. It was, Jake added, his demeanor shifting as he straightened. But look, it didn't hurt anyone. We're all okay. He reached out, brushing Tommy's hair back with a gentle hand. Jerry looked at Jake, surprised by his calmness. Perhaps there was more to him than anger and mistakes. Perhaps he was evolving into the person he had once hoped to be. The thought flickered briefly, could he really witness that transformation? As they resumed their walk, Tommy led them towards an open area where a magician performed tricks. Tommy's eyes lit up again, the previous fear chased away. The sight twisted both hope and apprehension inside Jerry. He was faced with a choice: allow the past to cloud their present or lean into this risk of happiness, just for today. Let us watch. Tommy cried, pulling both men along with renewed excitement. Yeah, let us, Jerry said, but his voice was quieter, almost uncertain. He glanced at Jake, who met his gaze with a sincere look, one that seemed to say he was willing to fight for this moment. Can we be a family again? The unspoken words hung in the air, and Jerry felt a rush of longing. As they settled on the grass, laughter filled the air from the small crowd gathered around the magician. Their eyes sparkled with wonder, just like Tommy's. But would this moment survive the test of tomorrow? Could they truly reclaim the bond they had lost? As the magic show began, questions swirled through Jerry's mind, threatening to drown the fleeting joy. The colorful illusions danced before his eyes, blurring the lines between past and present, worry and thrill. He felt the waiting weight of what could come next, wondering if he could embrace what was unfolding or if tomorrow would break all that had started to mend. But in that moment, all he could do was watch and hope. What if tomorrow revealed more than just the familiar shadows of yesterday? As the magician waved his wand and pulled a vibrant bouquet from an empty top hat, Jerry felt a rush of warmth. Tommy's delighted giggles filled the air, a sound that seemed to cut through his worries, if only for a moment. He glanced at Jake, who wore a light smile, one that seemed to echo Tommy's joy, and felt a wave of longing swell within him again. Whoa! Did you see that? Tommy exclaimed, bouncing on his knees. Do you think he can do real magic, Dad? Jerry chuckled softly, the sound almost foreign to him after so much tension in recent months. I suppose we can hope for a bit of it right now, huh? Jake joined in, leaning closer to Tommy. Do you think he can make your math homework disappear? Tommy giggled, a bright sound that wrapped around Jerry's heart like a cozy blanket. For the first time in what felt like ages, they were all together, lost in a shared experience that reminded Jerry of the life he wanted. The pain of the past lurked at the edges of his thoughts, but he pushed it away, focusing on Tommy's laughter and Jake's cautious optimism. The magician continued to perform, tricks blending into a delightful blur. Jerry watched as Tommy clutched his funnel cake, occasionally looking up at the vivid colors and illusions unfolding before them. It was a mesmerizing tableau, light dances meeting laughter, creating an ephemeral bubble where time seemed to pause. Suddenly, the magician approached their side of the crowd. "Who wants to join me for a trick?" he called out, his voice booming with enthusiasm. Before Jerry could process, Tommy's arm shot up. "Me. Me. Choose me." He squealed, eyes wide with excitement. Jerry's heart skipped a beat. "Wait, buddy," but Jake squeezed his shoulder in encouragement, surprising Jerry. "Let him try. It'll be great for him." After a moment's hesitation, a nod from Jerry was all Tommy needed. He bounded forward, bubbling with energy. The crowd's cheers erupted as Tommy climbed onto the stage, and for the first time, Jerry felt a flicker of pride. He could see the joy radiating from Tommy, a light so bright it chased away the shadows that had clung to Jerry's heart. As the magician instructed Tommy on how to hold the props, Jake leaned closer to Jerry, whispering, "He's amazing, huh?" "Yeah. He really is." The words held more weight than Jerry intended. It was more than just pride, it was acknowledgement of the man he wished to be. Tommy was a whirlwind of innocence and determination on that stage. He performed with a zeal that left everyone in awe, and Jerry found himself engrossed in the unfolding moment. For once, the potential for happiness pushed aside the fear of disillusionment, but when the final trick was executed, and Tommy reveled in the applause, Jerry felt a prick of doubt. Would this moment be enough to bridge the gaps that still hung between him and Jake? Or was it just a temporary illusion, one that would fade with the sun? As they left the crowd, clutching Tommy's sticky hands, Jake's expression shifted. "I've been thinking maybe we can try to make this work. You and me. For Tommy." The weight of Jake's words hung between them, a fragile thread holding up a scene Jerry wasn't sure he was ready to step into. He could feel the past whispering, cautioning him. "Work how?" he managed to ask, an equal mix of hope and doubt filling his voice. "Let us figure it out together," Jake replied gently, eyes filled with sincerity. "For the three of us." Jerry's heart raced, caught in the whirlwind of uncertainty. Could they really rewrite their story? Or was this just a fleeting moment built on dreams and illusions? With thoughts swirling, they moved toward the heart of the fair, the lights twinkling like stars above. Underneath the laughter and music, Jerry felt the pull of a decision he needed to make. As he looked down at Tommy, who was still glowing from his show, he grappled with the question that haunted him: could reclaiming their family mean risking everything again? And before he could answer, the night sky flickered with fireworks, bursting with color above their heads, revelations dancing in the air, mirroring the chaos in his heart. The fireworks cascaded against the night sky, bursts of color igniting hope within Jerry's heart. Here, in the midst of the joyous chaos of the fair, he felt the possibilities unfolding. But as he held Tommy's small hand in his, the weight of the past lingered, threatening to shadow the brightness they had just rekindled. "Did you see that one?" Tommy yelled, eyes wide with delight, pointing at a firework exploding in gold. "That was the best." Jerry smiled, his heart swelling as he witnessed the pure magic of childhood joy. He watched as Tommy danced around, his laughter ringing out like a sweet melody over the festival's noise. "Yeah, buddy. That was incredible," Jerry said, but his smile masked the brewing thoughts inside him. Jake stood close, mirroring Tommy's excitement, yet Jerry couldn't shake the feeling of impending doom. He was torn between allowing Jake back into their lives and protecting his son from the potential heartbreak that might resurface. "Can we get more funnel cakes?" Tommy piped up with a grin. "We can share a giant one." "Absolutely." Jake chuckled, their childlike anticipation reinvigorating the moment. "I'll treat you both, my new family." "Just hold on a sec," Jerry interrupted, his voice steady but firm. Walking a few steps away from the bubbling excitement of his son and Jake, he took a deep breath, grounding himself. "Jake, let us be clear. I'm still hesitant. This doesn't mean we're back to how things used to be." "I get it, Jerry." "I really do," Jake replied, the sincerity in his voice cutting through the tension. "But I want to show you I've changed. I'm not here to repeat the past." "Can you really mean that? Can you keep your promise this time?" Jerry shot back, his heart racing. He wanted to believe, to let the weight of worry slip from his shoulders. But doubt nagged persistently. "I want to be here for you both. I want to be a part of Tommy's life. I've lost so much time, and I regret every second," Jake said, his voice rich with emotion. "He deserves better than what I gave." Jerry sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. It felt impossible to navigate the feelings that swirled within him, the hope of reconciliation mixed with the ever-present fear of more pain. But as he turned to glance at Tommy, jubilantly spinning in delight at the fountain, it stemmed something deep within him. "All right," he breathed, finally finding the strength to speak. "We'll give this a shot, but my priority is Tommy's happiness. If this isn't good for him, then I can't be a part of it. You understand that?" "Completely," Jake nodded earnestly. The sincerity in his eyes offered Jerry a glimmer of hope, something he hadn't felt in a long time. They returned to Tommy, who was eagerly bouncing on his feet, practically vibrating with his next request. "Did you guys decide the next adventure? Can we go on the potato sack race?" "Yes. Let's go do that," Jake exclaimed, folding his hands together as he leaned down to Tommy's level. "You versus us. Winner gets the biggest funnel cake." Tommy's face lit up brighter than the fireworks above. "You're on," he declared, grabbing both their hands. They ran toward the race area, laughter filling the air. Jerry felt lighter than he had in ages, the joy bubbling up involving simple moments spent with his son. He remembered those days filled with laughter and wrongly placed regrets. As the race began, Jerry tightly held on to Tommy's hand, both of them huddled inside the oversized sack, ready to jump. "On 3. Jake shouted. 1, 2, 3. With that, they leapt forward, giggling uncontrollably as the sack flopped beneath their feet. The world fell away in that simple action, replaced by unrestrained joy. As they stumbled toward the finish line, Gary felt the weight of past failures start to lift. They didn't win, but when Jerry looked down, he saw his son joyfully bouncing with excitement, and it made everything worth it. This was their moment. When they finally caught their breath, they collapsed in a heap on the grass, laughter still in the air. The warmth of their connection simmered, and even Jerry could see that. There was potential here not just for Jake, but for them as a family. As the crowd began to lose interest in the races and the fireworks waned behind them, Jerry watched as Tommy's face lit up with wonder. Gratitude washed over him, and he realized the beginnings of a new chapter were indeed forming. They headed towards the funnel cake stand, the sweet scent drawing them in. "All 3 of us should have different toppings," Tommy suggested excitedly, his imagination already soaring to new heights. "Okay," Jerry replied, glancing at Jake. "But it's your job to let us know what toppings you want." With a newfound bond solidifying among them, they placed their order. As they waited, Jerry smirked, contemplating what it would be like to continue down this road with Jake, navigating life together as co-parents for Tommy's sake. Maybe this time, they could make it work. As they shared the giant funnel cake, laughter and crumbs intertwined against the chaos of the festival, Jerry allowed a glimmer of hope to sprout within him, and as the last firework lit up the night, illuminating their smiles against the backdrop of a new horizon, something within Jerry felt irrevocably changed. It wasn't just about stakes of the past, it was about the spirit of moving forward, embracing every moment. They would see what tomorrow brought, but for tonight, they were already winning. Now, as you reflect on this heartwarming journey, there is something important you need to do. You need to subscribe now to not miss the next exclusive stories that will stir your heart. This is the moment to show your support by leaving a like right now, helping the algorithm spread more joy. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this ending, we want to hear from you. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to feel this transformation. Let us grow this community together. Your support means the world, and only true fans understand the importance of acts like these.